The first thing you want to practice with Riley when Riley comes home is just simply walking her. So, of course, you're going to need to use your leash, and you're going to want to usually hold a short leash like that. So I'm not holding it here at the end, because when I hold it at the end, she has too much space that if she is misguided or she's going the wrong way, it's going to be a little bit difficult to correct there. So at the foundation stage, I always encourage holding a short leash without it being tight. See how it's loose, right? So my arm is completely relaxed and she's staying on my side. She's staying on my side because she's learned it's this way. So she's a bit more used to it now. But when she's going too fast, you just pop the collar like I just did. So it's a pop. And the speed is just as fast as the word pop sounds. So it's not supposed to be like a pull. It's not supposed to drag at all. It's supposed to pop for a very, very short instant. So every time it pops, it's just like an alert to alert her that you're moving too fast. And then if she's moving too slow, if she's behind, I pop forward, and then she speeds up, she catches up. And if she's moving away too wide, I pop to get her closer. And if she's coming too close, if she's too close to me like this, then I pop outward just so that she opens up. So whenever we are walking, the idea is that I never stop walking because of her. I only stop because of me. What that means is, if we are walking and she doesn't feel like going the way I'm going and she's trying to stop, I don't let that compel me to stop. What I do is I just keep moving and using the collar. So I'll keep moving, I'll be popping the collar like that, popping it until she picks up speed and she realizes I am in the lead, I am in charge, okay? So when you apply these things when you're walking your dog, it's almost like you are steering your dog whilst you're walking. And that steering is actually what helps you to be able to build a unique kind of relationship with the dog that is beyond just being your dog's friend or companion, but you actually being your dog's leader, constantly reminding your dog that you are in charge. Okay, so when you walk your dog, you get the opportunity to send this message, and then you build that kind of bond. So you would see that it will reflect in other aspects of your life with your dog, and your dog would generally be much, much more obedient to you, even when you're not taking walks, even when you're in the compound, even when you're in your living room, even when you're just in your play space with your dog. You'll see a much more responsive dog to your commands because it has learned that you are in charge. So when you are walking side by side perfectly like this with no tension in the leash, then you're doing everything right. So this is the goal. Riley? Yes. Very good. So once you're done practicing your walk, you want to have an intentional one-on-one session with Riley indoors. So this I recommend you do at least twice a week, and it should be intentional, meaning that you should have your treats ready, okay? I usually like to use chopped up chicken sausage. So you just chop them up, have them ready, have them in hand, and have some peace and quiet. So you want to use an enclosed space and you want minimal distractions. So the first thing that I would practice with Riley is the name recall. And with the name recall, you just simply have to do nothing and wait until you can see that Riley is paying attention to something else. And then you say her name. Riley, yes. Very good. Now, when you're practicing this, the most important thing that you want to take note of is marking at the right moment. So when I call her, watch, and then take note of the moment when I mark. And by mark, I mean the moment when I say yes. Riley, yes. So if you notice, the moment I say yes is the moment Riley makes the initial step towards me whenever I call. And that is when she is already looking at me. So if she's looking away from me, then that moment would be when she looks up at me, or when she turns her attention from what is distracting her to me. So I'm going to see if I'll get an opportunity to describe that. But then for now, okay, she's looking down. Riley, yes, very good. So you notice when I say her name, as soon as she turned away from that thing towards me, that was the moment I marked. And when I mark yes, what happens? She comes and then she gets her treat. So when you're practicing this, that's what you want to take note of. Marking on time and marking every single time. You see, the marker yes is actually the pillar. That is what trains the dog. The yes replaces a device called a clicker. So whenever you are using the clicker, it means that when you call your dog, as soon as it initiates, you click. That click is super important. That's what registers the dog's learning and the dog's progression. So if you're not saying yes, technically you're not clicking. And if you're not clicking, technically you're really prolonging your dog's understanding. So please don't take the yes for granted. As simple a word as it is, it's the most important word in dog training. Riley, yes. Excellent. So once you've practiced your recall, the next thing you want to practice is the sits and the downs, right? And when you are doing this, you want to apply a technique called luring. Luring is just using the treat to move your dog around the way you want your dog to move, right? And by doing so, simply you are guiding your dog. So it's like when I call Riley, I don't want Riley to come and then she's loitering about. I want her to come very intentionally straight to me, and we'll have a face-to-face relationship. Riley, yes. And this is how I accomplish that. So if you notice, I'm showing her the treat when I call her. So when she comes towards the hand. So if the hand is not here and I call her, it's going to be a different scenario. Riley, look at that. Look where she's going. So you using your hand to reward your dog every single time makes your hand a very powerful tool of engagement. So you want to use it properly. So it means that when I'm not doing anything with Riley, my hand is usually in the center of my body. I relax my hands here. This is neutral position. So this doesn't confuse her in any way. But if my hands are constantly swinging, if I want her to be doing something that is centered, it will distract her attention. So usually when I'm doing nothing, this is neutral. And then when I call her, Riley, yes. Look how I use the hand to guide her and then bring her back this way, right in front of me. And then I reward her, right? So now when I get the dog in front of me is when I'll ask her to sit. So Riley, yes, good. Sit, yes, very good. Now when I ask her to sit, what do you notice? Immediately, I take the treat away from her. So I take the treat away as I say the command. And the reason why I do that is because, one, I want to make sure that her focus is on me when she is doing the action. Two, I want to make sure that when she sits, she sees me say the marker, yes. And then three, I want to make sure that after she sees me say the marker, yes, she sees the treat travel all the way from up here, all the way down to her. Very important for her to see that, so that it really registers firmly that when I give the command, you don't get the treat immediately, you do it. When I give the command, you do it. And when you do it, I will register that you have done it with yes. And afterwards, you will get the treat. So the marker always comes before she gets the treat. So come, yes. Sit, yes. Very good, okay. So usually when I do that and I raise it, she gets used to this as a gesture. So you're guiding her. When she gets there, you say the command as you take the treat away from her. So every time, this is like my pivot and my hand does this. So it becomes a gesture. So dogs learn by listening and watching. And when they are watching, what they register the most in their foundation stage especially are the gestures that you use for the various commands. So this has become a familiar gesture to Riley when it comes to the sit command. So I'll demonstrate. This time I'm not going to say the command sit. I'll just use the gesture and see if she'll respond and sit. Riley? Yes. Good. Yes, very good. So you saw that. I used the gesture, she responded, and she sat. But then when you are training with her, always use the command as well. I just did that to demonstrate so that you'll see the importance of the gesture. So it means when you're practicing this action, luring her, when she gets it, taking the treat away to your face is very important for you to do. That's how you're going to speed up her learning process. If you start to do it differently, you'll start to confuse her. And you might get lucky, she'll pick up on what you're doing, or it will begin to undo some of the things that she's learned. So very important is to take note of the gesture for the various commands. So for sit, that is what it looks like. Now, when it is a side-by-side affair, which is super important to practice so that your dog gets used to obeying in different scenarios, in different states. So apart from the face-to-face, I'll deliberately sometimes lure Riley. Riley? Yes, good girl. And when she gets to my side, I raise it above her head. Sit. Yes. And then I reward. So with a side by side, I raise the treat above her head as I say the command. This time not to my face because I don't want to confuse her to come in front of me, just above her head. And then when she sits, I mark yes, and then the treat goes back down to her. So that's how you do that when she's on your side. So every time you practice something face to face, do your best to practice it side by side as well. Yes, good girl, very good. Good, come. Yes, good girl, very good. Good girl, Riley, good. So every time that Riley seems unsure, come, yes, good girl, very good. I just try to boost her confidence a little more by giving her treats. Yes, come, good girl. Good girl, there you go. Good girl, Riley, good girl, very good. So I just try to boost her confidence to make sure that she knows that, look, everything is okay, you're not doing anything wrong. Because when she came here, she had some insecurity, she had some anxiety. So I always try to make sure that if I sense that she's losing her confidence, I do things to boost her confidence. So sometimes if she's waiting too long and there's no treat coming, she thinks she has done something wrong or she's doing something wrong and she starts to coil. So whenever I notice that, then I just start to boost her confidence. Come. Yes, good girl. Very good girl. Yes. Good. Righty, come. Yes, good girl. This way. Good. Very good. Yes. Sit. Yes. Very good. So now the downs. If it's a side by side, okay, let's do a face to face first. Righty, come. Yes, come. Good girl. So I'll lower her face to face. Come. Good. And then when she's in a sit and I'm standing upright, I'll point down and say down. Yes. Very good. Free. Good. I'm going to repeat. So it's going to look like down. Yes. Good girl. Very good. And then when it's a side by side, free. Yes. Good. This way. Good. Come. Yes. Good. Down. Yes. Very good. So every time I say down, I point down. So my hand goes down like that if she's face to face. If she's side by side, it goes down like that. And when I point, I hold it until she goes down. And as soon as she goes down, I say yes, and then I bend and give her the treat. Now, every time I try to make sure I'm standing upright when I do the command. I don't want to be bending and saying down, because if I'm doing that, then what's the whole point of trying to teach your dog so that you can both be comfortable? So after you've practiced your sits and downs with Riley, now you want to practice her stay, right? So that's the actual test of obedience. So if she can control her impulse to stay even when you walk away, then you know that she's actually obeying. If you've noticed, she's already good at doing it whilst I'm around her, right? So usually when I'm going to walk away, leave her for longer durations and distances, I want her to be as comfortable as she can be. So I try to teach her that in a down position. So first of all, I want to make sure she's where I want her to be. Come. Yes, good girl. Very good. Yes, very good. Okay, Riley. Yes, very good. So I want to face to face when she sits down. Yes. I mark yes. I say good. When I say good, it's an enforcer. It means I'm encouraging her to continue to do that act, which is to lie down. So I walk into the kitchen, open the fridge, grab a bottle of water, let her hear the noises. And if she's still there, yes. I mark when I get here. I reward. Very good. And then afterwards I free. Free. Yes. Good girl. Very good. Well done. Okay, so that's how that works. If I want to take my bottle of water back. Riley. Yes. Good girl. Very good. Her confidence is coming back. Riley. Yes. Good girl. Sit. Yes. All right. Down. Yes. Good. So I'm going to go back, put down my bottle of water, which I didn't drink. So she can hear the refrigerator. Let me open the tap, wash my hands. Okay. Grab a napkin, clean my hands. So I'm taking my time. And I'm hoping that when I step out the door, she'll still be there. And if I see her there, I'll mark even before I get to her. Yes! Perfect. And then when I get here, yes, I mark and reward. Then after I reward her, I free her. All right, free. Yes, good girl. Very good. Good. Excellent. Right? So she's done a great job. So these are basically the things that you want to practice with her, right? And you want to be intentional about it. As I said, have your treats. So when you have these sessions, she begins to draw parallels with what she's been through over here. So it's like she begins to feel more comfortable with the same kind of relationship with you, look more look up to you more as a leader and a guide, right? So the walking will help do that when you're steering her. And then these sessions will help enforce that further. So when you're building the relationship, you're just priming her to obey you more and more for the long term. So it's super important to have these sessions, at least for the next 6 weeks that she's with you. You want to have them very, very intentionally. You would realize that by the time the 6 weeks are over, you would have gained a lot of confidence in your dog's ability to listen. You would have learned a lot about her body language, and she would also learn a lot about yours. And then when you're more comfortable, then you can stretch the time before you give her a treat. So this time you can have sessions where you ask her to do a bunch of things. And when she's done doing everything, then you reward her with a treat. But as for treats, the philosophy is that treats are forever. So it's always best to use treats, no matter how old your dog is. If you've had your dog for 1 year, 2 years, always make sure that at the end of everything that you want your dog to learn or achieve in any space that you create for the both of you, you have a reward at the end so that your dog feels encouraged to listen and obey more and more and to just keep improving. Free. Yes, very good. Very good. You notice when I said free, she hesitated and I just waited. And as soon as she moved, I marked. So even when you free your dog, you mark the moment your dog makes the initial step to be free. So a bonus is I want you to usually practice spins with her, right? Because of her anxiety, I want her to feel comfortable with your hands moving around her, knowing that even though they are moving, you see, she's worried, is he going to hit me? So in order to get her to eliminate that worry, when you're practicing things like the spin, free, yes. When she gets here, I'll say spin. And when she spins, yes, I reward, very good. And I do it again, spin. Yes, reward. Riley, yes, spin. Yes, very good, good girl. Down. Yes, very good. So that's about it, right? Very important to do that last bit that I demonstrated. And you notice how I boost her confidence whenever she gets nervous. So it's also very important to take note of that because every dog is different. So this is your dog's personality. So this is how you deal with that issue. So I hope this video is helpful. And if you have any challenges, don't hesitate to call.